It's time to take a look at Windows 3.0, and to do that we have with us the Windows Systems Engineer for Microsoft, Margaret Johnson. And also we're going to find out why Windows seems to be such a hit. We have with us Gus Venditto, Executive Editor of PC Magazine. Gary?
Gus, Windows 1, Windows 2 has had some problems in terms of acceptance. Some of those problems been solved in Windows 3, and just what's going on with it?
Well, the acceptance has definitely increased with Windows 3. Right now, Windows is really hot. It's the top-selling program for PCs. When it was released in May, it went to the top of the charts, and it stayed there. So the problems with Windows 1 and 2 were more a matter of perfecting it, and right now, people seem to love Windows 3.
Okay, now, Margaret, you obviously know a lot about Windows 3. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure, I'd like to do that by giving a little visual display on the monitor. There's been a lot of enhancements, both visually and technically, to Windows 3. That includes proportional fonts in both the menuing and in the dialog boxes, and the use of 3D buttons. The other nice thing that people are really excited about is we got away with the MS-DOS Executive and replaced it with the 3 applications, the Program Manager for the logical grouping of applications. We also have the File Manager down here so that we can directly manipulate files. And then the third is the task list to go between the tasks. The other great feature is in the setup. Before we had a Windows 286 and a Windows 386. That caused a lot of confusion. Now we have one version. You pop disk 1 into your A drive, you type in setup, the setup determines your configuration, goes into a Windows application. Now, once you go into Windows, you have this Windows application in which you can then reinstall drivers. Say, for example, you change your video display. You can pick a new video display. The next time you go into Windows, it's all set for you.
Now, in terms of development tools, what is provided with Windows 3 for somebody who wants to write an application, say, under Windows?
With Windows 3, you need to get the Software Developers Kit, the SDK for Windows 3, and that includes actually, oh, this isn't my machine. Actually, there are a lot of tools like a dialog editor, an icon editor. We assume Microsoft sees 6 compilers, but there's a lot of 4GLs like Asymmetric's Toolbook, which are very powerful development environments to get into. Getting back to the Program Manager, which is installed when you install Windows, you actually get 3 groups installed for you. An important group, these 3 groups are the main, accessory, and the games group. And the main is for system configuration. To give you an idea of how you would use it, you can totally customize your desktop. Let's say, for example, we want to change the color. We can do it from default colors, or we could get very bold and just
mess it up on your own.
Yeah, really. And considering that my lack of color taste is quite strong, I'll do one that I feel safe with, the ocean. I don't want to get anybody sick. And you can customize the desktop not just with colors, but also with background bitmaps. Say you have a company logo. Well, we're in San Francisco, so I'm a big Niner fan, so I'll put back my Niner logo for the game tomorrow. And
you're going to work against that background.
Yeah. So all Sunday, I can just keep saying, you know, go Joe.
Okay.
Do the big one.
Margaret, also, what are the system requirements? What do you assume as far as graphics device, for example?
Good question. Right now, Windows has 3 modes. We have the real mode, the standard mode, and the enhanced mode. In setup, it's determined what type, from your machine requirements, you would have. The real mode is for downward compatibility with 2.x. It will run applications that aren't Windows 3 ready. It is also for machines with less than 1 megabytes of memory. The standard mode uses the protected environment of the 2 and 386 for 1 megabyte and greater machines. And the enhanced mode, the 386 enhanced mode, will use the virtual memory management of the 386 to virtualize the memory for more memory, and also for the standard DOS applications can run in the virtual 86 mode.
So when you're talking about Windows 3 as the executive in this case, you're not really running MS-DOS underneath it then, huh? I mean, it runs in a special area, as a special task, rather than being the executive.
Right. We're trying to make it more logical as you use your desktop with Windows 3.
Margaret, briefly, I want you to show me the dynamic data exchange feature of this.
That's a good point. A very powerful feature of Windows 3 that we want to get across is the inter-process communications. You saw it first with cut, copy, and paste. It's followed with in the Windows environment with the dynamic data exchange, or DDE. In 2.x, you could use it, but it wasn't all that easy, and you couldn't use a lot of data. Now with Windows 3 memory restrictions going away, you can connect the dots between the applications with dynamic data.
How you do that.
Okay, so if I change a number of Joe's, the next month he has 10,000 units, all documents associated with that will automatically be updated. You can see this being the start of a powerful executive information system.
Sure. Gus, I want to turn to you for a second. What do you see developer support for Windows 3.0? Is that changing too in terms of the, you said user acceptance has changed?
Yeah, there have been a lot of companies been working on Windows in the last year. Windows has become a great forum for small companies to get a leg in the market. What has been a source of controversy is that some of the large software publishers, Software Publishing, Lotus, they were waiting for OS2, and they've been passing up Windows, but I think they're going to take a second look, and they're kind of stepping back and getting their programmers doing Windows programming instead of the OS2 programming that had been the top priority.
Do you see there are quite a few applications then coming up under Windows at this point?
There have been a flood of them coming out, and that's partly why it's been so successful, because in the earlier versions of Windows, there was nothing really to run under Windows. It took a long time. PageMaker came out. Now with the Windows 3.0, everybody's upgraded. Everybody is coming out with a lot of new utilities. Programs that were running under different platforms are coming to Windows. Ventura Publisher is coming to Windows. And next year we'll have WordPerfect and Lotus 1.2.3, and that's going to really solidify it as being a major, it's really the center of the PC right now.
All right, Gus, Margaret, thank you very much. Well, there is one problem with Windows. You do need at least a 286 machine and 640K of RAM, though a 386 and 2 megs is the